Okay, now relationships is what we're going to talk. So relationship is just a field type. Okay, so for a relationship also we just need to create a field. What is a relationship? When we need to relate to objects. Like in our case, we have clients and projects, right? The project needs to be connected to a certain client. If I go by this, clients and projects, name, city, website, whatever. Let's say these are the fields of the client, and for the project I have the name, start date, end date, these kind of things. The next thing is the relationship. Using relationship, basically what we do is we just connect one object to the other object. Okay, and how do we do a relationship? Let's say there's a relationship between project and client. Okay, and I need to connect the project to the client. So every project should be associated to a certain client. Then we can create a field here called client, and this can be a relationship field. Okay, so relationship field will actually go and take the data from the client object, like the one we have for accounts. Contact is connected to the account, right? Now when you are entering a project detail here, basically what is happening, there is no relationship of the project with the client, which means the projects are kind of independent. But when you're actually working on client project, you have to have a field where you can define which client's project it is, right? For that we will create a relationship field, right? So creating a relationship is pretty simple. You just have to go to setup, and from there you just need to go to, sorry, create objects. Decide which object you want to create the relationship on. You want to create it on project, so just go to the project object and go to custom field and relationships. All right, so relationships are also created here, so you can click on new, pick lookup relationship. Okay, there are other types of relationship, but don't get into the other type of relationship at this point of time. We can look into these later. For now, the generic relationship is lookup relationship. Okay, click on next. Related to, which object do you want to relate to? I want to relate to the client object. Done. Go to next. Okay, then go to next. Make it visible like we do it for any other field. Same thing, and finally save. Done. So my relationship field is ready. Okay, so now there is one field which is a lookup to the client object, which is a relationship field. Now if I go to projects, click on new, see there's one more field, relationship field. Now this field is not a text field. It's not taking a text or a number or a date. It's actually taking a value from the client object. So you can actually do a lookup and connect it with the one of the clients. Like now I'm connecting it to the IBM. So this record then gets related to the IBM record. Got it? Oh, sorry. Now, if someone is looking into the clients, if you go and look into the client, if you open IBM, you will get to see this project under IBM. Got it? Now these two records are related. Okay? Is that clear? Do we understand relationship? So in this relationship, basically what is happening? The relationship is between two objects, and there is one parent object here, the other is a child object. Okay, so there's one object which is a parent object, the other object is the child object. So that's about our relationship. Got it? Now, which is the parent, which is the child? Out of client and project, which one is parent and which one is child?
Client is child.
Eh?
Cli- Client is the child object
How? Why? Client and project,
because
which one will be parent?
client is coming under project, so client will be the child object and project will be the parent.
No. Client is not coming under project. Project is coming under client. From one client, you can have multiple projects, right?
Yeah, yeah.
See, if you look here, IBM client, under that I have a project object. Got it? So, client is parent, project is child. Okay. So, the relationship field is always created on the child object. Fine. So before you start creating a relationship, first of all go and check or identify which is the parent and which is the child. Once you have identified which is the parent and which is the child, then you should just go and create the relationship field on the child object, not on the parent object.
Okay.
Clear? Tell me if you have any question or doubt here. Any difficulty
Uh,
understanding this?
yeah.
Hmm.
Jeet, can you just show me the process once again, like uh, created the relationship because it was pretty fast and my
Okay.
screen was kind of lagging.
Fine. So we'll do one more example with project and consultant. Okay.
Yeah.
In project and consultant, what is parent, what is child? Let's say consultant is the child. Okay. One project can have multiple consultants working on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. So consultant is the child. So where do I need to create the relationship field? On the project or on the consultant? On which
Uh,
object? Like,
on the consultant.
yes, because it always is created on the child object. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now go to setup, create object. So we want to create the field on consultant object. So we should go to consultant object from here, right? Click on this. After this, custom field and relationships, click on new. Okay. Field type will be lookup relationship.
Look up the date. Yeah.
Then go to next. Related to object will be what?
Project.
Project.
Yeah, because I'm creating the field on consultant and I want to connect it to the project. So related to object will be Project, where is project? Here it is. Done. Then go to next. Field label and field name you can put. Go to next. Make it visible. Save it. All right.
Yeah.
Now on the consultant object, I have one more field called project which can connect to the project. See, the lookup field has got created which can help me connect to the project. See, even consultant name can be anything. Okay. So it's connected to this project, and if you go to the project, you will see the consultant under this. Consultants who are working under this project. If there are more, you can add more consultants. So in the same project, I have multiple consultants, right? Is it clear
Yes.
how the relationship is being worked? Okay. So that's about relationship. Now there is another type of customization that I want to do here while we are creating an app. The next thing that we will talk about is a field dependency. Field dependency is for quick list. Okay. If you have drop downs and you want one drop down to be dependent on the other drop down value, then you define field dependencies. For example, client. Okay. I have an object client. Let's say for the client, I have two fields, country and city. Okay. And for country is a pick list, it's a drop down, and it has these options, India and the US. Okay. And city is a pick list and it has options, let's say S, NYC, Delhi, Bangalore. Okay. So let's create this first. Let me create these two fields. Which object are we talking about? We're talking about client object. So let me create these two fields. Let's say your company has clients in two countries. So for country, we are adding a field India and the US. And for city also we'll add one more field. Okay, so we have created two fields. We have not done anything. We have just created two fields. One is city, one is country. All right. Now, when I try to make an entry in the clients, I notice that, okay, when I try to make an entry, I notice that even if I select India as the country, it shows me all the four cities. And if I select US as the country, it still shows me all the cities. However, I don't want this. What I want is if I select India, I should only be able to see the Indian cities. And if I select US, then I should only see the US cities. Right? So all that we have to do is we just have to define a field dependency here. We'll need to make the city field dependent on the country. How will we do this? Just go to setup, create objects. Which field you will, which object we have to go to? Which object shall we select from here?
Client.
Why client?
City.
City? City is an object or
It
is
is
that
object. It is what we have.
which object do I select?
So these fields are on client, so we have to select client, I think.
Yes. So client is the object. All right. And now here you all that you have to do is where you create a field, new field, just beside that new button there is a field dependency button. Click on this and define the field dependency. Say new field dependency and your controlling field will be okay. Out of these two fields, which one is controlling, which one is dependent?
Controlling field is country,
Why?
because there are two countries. It's like parent and child, same kind of thing, I think. So there are only two countries, but there are a lot of cities. And in India, there can be more cities, and in US, there are more cities.
So out of
Same
those two fields, which field is dependent?
country is dependent.
Country is dependent,
Oh, sorry,
City.
city is dependent.
city is dependent, right? So the other one will be the controlling. Country is controlling field, this controls, and this is the dependent field. Okay, let's go to continue.
So here we can also think like parent-child, right?
You
Or
can
no?
think like, but don't think like parent-child at this point of time. You will end up confusing your parent-child concept. Right? So when you become a little more expert, then you think on those lines. But as of now, just think of it as a controlling and what is the other
Dependent.
thing? Dependent. Right? Acha, under India, which all cities? Delhi and Bangalore. You can press Control to select multiple values. Under US, these cities. Okay, selected,
Yes.
and then just say include values. Okay, So now these two have been included under India and these two have been included under US. You can just save it. Once you have included the correct values, save it. Now if I go to the clients and try to enter a new client, now you see you don't have the option of entering a city till the time you don't select a country. It says depends on country. First of all, select the country and then only the cities from that country will be visible. It's a very common, thing which will be used in a lot of places wherever you have multiple pick lists. Clear? Please tell me
Yes.
if there is any question or doubt.
Yeah, Jeet, for the city, uh, how like what is the maximum capacity? As in how many cities can we add?
How many
Is it like
cities?
yeah,
There's no, a small limit for it as such. You can add hundreds, 100, 500, you
okay,
can add easily.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeet, I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Can we add more? We had dependent field and what was the other one?
Controlling.
Controlling. Okay. Can we add more dependent fields to the pick list? Would it be possible?
Can we add more dependent?
Dependent fields, as in like here it is country. Then see, I mean, say the next one was state,
That
and
can be done.
then comes the city. Okay. All right.
That can be done. So in that
Okay.
case, what you'll do is, so what Manjit is asking, he's saying if we have three layers, country, state, and city. So you'll have to create a field dependency between country and state, and then you'll have to create a field dependency between state and city.
If
Okay.
we talk,
Here.
okay,
Oh, sorry. So here we should create two dependency,
Field
right? First
dependencies,
between the
yes.
country and state, and then second between the state and the city.
Right, correct.
Okay, okay, all right. Good.
Yep. Any other questions? No? Right. Okay. So let's just go and do this on our own developer edition. So we are going to do a bit of hands-on activities. So first of all, let's start with the relationship field. Manjit, what you'll have to do is you just have to delete the fields, or you can try it in some other object that you have done. For others, if you have the client and project object, let's create a relationship between client and project. Can you just quickly do it? Let me know once you're done with it. So a relationship field between client and project.